Well, we talk a lot about quarterbacks, and I wanted to do that again tonight, today, whenever you're watching this. We're heading into another fall camp at Georgia, and the Dogs have four scholarship quarterbacks: Stetson Bennett, Carson Beck, Brock Vandegrift, and now, in addition, Gunnar Stockton, number 14, Raven County's finest. This is what Kirby said about his quarterbacks, his quarterback room. He kind of went through each of them and just said a little bit about all of them. But there's most people with any sort of understanding of quarterback right now in college football know that coming into 22, Georgia has one of the best quarterback situations in terms of the depth of the room as anybody in the country, perhaps the deepest. But that's coming into 2022. We don't know what going out of 22 will mean. You're going to have a full-on multi-man competition for the starting job in 23, and that's going to be something else. So it's curious to see who the backup will be. Although all indications are so far, we know who that will be. Here's what Kirby said about his quarterbacks. He said, if you're a good coach, you don't go into the season without thinking you got two or three guys that can come in and play. Side note, he legitimately has had that problem a couple of times. I mean, when you think about 16, you started with Lambert. He was never going to play the entire season, but he started the season. And you go to Jacob Eason. 17, Eason to Jake Fromm. Fromm never lost a job, never got hurt, none of that. Getting hurt has been one good way to lose the job at quarterback at Georgia. In 20, Dwan Mathis gives way to Stetson. Stetson gives way to JT. In 21, JT gets hurt, gives way to Stetson, and then he transfers to West Virginia. He goes on to say, especially in our conference, you're getting hit, tackled, knocked back. He's going to probably run the ball some. That puts him at risk much injury. Our quarterback room right now, I'm extremely confident of. Carson Beck has been in the program, done a lot of good things. He was a guy that won a state championship in high school, did a tremendous job. Let me just say this real quick about Carson. The only guy did not watch play high school football live was Stetson Bennett. I would have had no idea that he'd have been the quarterback of Georgia. But anyway, with Carson Beck, Mandarin High School, where he played in Jacksonville, I spent time down there talking with Carson multiple times before he got to Georgia. That is not a high school that uh, was running up and down the field all over people. Carson had a lot to do with the success that Mandarin had. Now, the coach had won a lot at Yulee with Derrick Henry, and then he moved, I don't know, 45 minutes south to southern Jacksonville to take over the job at Mandarin. But this is not. Don't confuse Mandarin High School, where Carson Beck played, with some football power, because it was not. Let me tell you, and you could tell. Anyway, he said, and to win a state championship there in the largest classification in Florida, which has pretty good football, that really says something to me about Carson. Secondly, and then Kirby goes on to say Brock Vandergrift is a tremendous athlete. Excuse me, is a tremendous athlete who has gotten who has got a tremendous upside. He's gotten better and better. Those two guys are growing rapidly because of the number of reps they're getting. Gunnar Stockton spent the spring with us, a good athlete we're excited about. And this is let me just say this real quick about Brock and Gunnar. Brock Vandergrift won the state championship at Prince Avenue, um, with talent, yes, but with a lot of determination on his part. Brock Vandergrift is probably the rawest of these four quarterbacks. But if he can nail down, simmer down's wrong. If he can really hone in on playing quarterback, uh, he could be a lot of trouble for people out there for sure. And then you look at Gunnar Stockton. I mean, I don't think Raven would ever won the state championship just because of the guys that Gunnar was surrounded by, but they made deep runs in the playoff every single year that he was there, breaking all of Trevor Lawrence's records and Deshaun Watson's records for throwing touchdowns and yardage, all this stuff. Gunnar Stockton was definitely a star too. Make sure you're picking up DAWGSTRUCTION today, okay? We are in the midst of the final run of this offer. I'm running out of our 2022 preview edition. Everybody who is a annual member at Dog Post, of which there are a lot of people, they're getting this for free, shipped to them quickly. So that means you are running out of your chance to get this. When you buy DAWGSTRUCTION, you get the magazine for free. It is included in the packaging. I feel like I've not spent enough time on this. In the past, I did. You literally will not see these stories online. You will not see these stories online, okay? You will not see this thing anywhere else. It is only in print. This is a rare edition. I only have one run of it. That's it. I'm not doing multiple runs of the magazine. So get them both now. If you're in Athens, go by Red Zone right there. 186 Clayton Street. Go to the Arch. Go north a block. Take a left. And you will run into. Go to the Arch. Cross the street. Walk past the Chick-fil-A. Go to the red light. Take a left. You will see Red Zone. It is on your left on that side of the road. So now is the time to take advantage of these offers, y'all. And time is running out, I can assure you. Uh, Kirby goes on to say, and I think this is really the most important part, I really feel confident about our quarterback room. Confident because we have Stetson returning, but confident because we have well coached backups as well. He's correct, man. All of these guys have these are playmaking quarterbacks. Now, all due respect to some guys in the past, they were not necessarily playmakers. Okay, uh, they certainly were not playmakers with their feet. And this group of four here, they all have the ability to get first downs with their legs. They all have the ability to throw it. They are all gifted in that department. You're not going to get a Georgia as a quarterback with an inadequate arm. But the question is, can you play quarterback? Okay, that's the question. Dwan Mathis was as gifted. I mean, I remember watching that game, the first drive, when he broke out and started running. I said, holy shit, this could be serious. This guy can really run. He wasn't a great quarterback. All right. You know, that is can you develop guys into being quarterbacks? Dwan Mathis was extremely raw. Okay, extremely. But he got his chance, didn't work out, but you could see why they started him, or at least I could. When you saw him running out there live, I mean, I'm telling you, TV didn't do it justice. But these guys, you got to play quarterback. And that's where I feel like Gunnar Stockton came to Georgia at a massive advantage to the other guys, more than the other guys. Okay, massive advantage might be a stretch. But Gunnar Stockton understood how to play. He is not raw. He is not raw. He is a polished. He may as well have been a quarterback in Gwinnett County. And the real people know, they know what I'm talking about with that. These guys in Gwinnett, they're throwing, I don't know about every day, but all the time. They have trainers, they're lifting. It is very serious in Gwinnett County all the time. And it was serious in Raven, don't get me wrong. But what I'm trying to say is, for all of the stuff that you have in the more, I wouldn't say Gwinnett's affluent necessarily. It is a suburban area of Atlanta that has a lot of resources too, and they care about football a lot. He looked like he was an extremely gifted quarterback out of Gwinnett County who had been taught how to do everything. He understood how to run a 40. He knew how to not get nervous. He knew how to play quarterback. And that's a you know that is a credit to the Shaws up there, all right? Brock Vandergriff is still learning. I mean, even Kirby says he's a tremendous athlete who's got tremendous upside. I don't know if Georgia, if there's a quarterback that's got a higher upside in terms of athleticism. No, there's not. Of these four guys, Brock is probably the most athletic, and that's saying something, okay? Because Stetson makes people look stupid sometimes, and to see Brock Vandergriff take off around the corner. Like when you were watching him at Prince Albert, you're like, this guy is really fast. Let's see what happens when he gets out with Georgia guys. And then he ran around them during that G-Day game. And I was like, oh my God. You know, so this is going to be about who gives Georgia the best chance to win because they're the best quarterback. That includes all sorts of stuff we never get any indication about. Can you lead in the locker room? Are you paying attention all the time? Are we throw an interception? Are you cool? Can you get right back out there and do it? I mean, we don't even wonder about Stetson Bennett. Okay, he threw an interception and then he marched them all the way down the field with his arm, and then he threw this basically for the win. All right, after making about as catastrophic an error as you could possibly make. I remember the way David Pollock and Ben Watson looked on the sideline, and it was not good. It was not good. Okay, that Georgia sideline was in trouble. But they said, to hell with it, let's go. And Stetson got them right down the field. Now, that is quarterbacking. That is what it takes. It takes, I messed up. That doesn't matter. And then you make 4 plays later, you're in the end zone with the lead. So that is tremendous mental toughness. That is how you quarterback. I mean, David Green was, I remember the South Carolina game in 2003 in Columbia. I think David threw a pick six. I'm not sure. But boy, they got in the fourth quarter. Georgia was in trouble, it felt like. And David just kept, doing it. Shock. Same thing. Shock. And at Neyland, I don't think I've ever heard a louder pop, including when Georgia blocked the field goal against Alabama in 12. I don't know if I've heard a louder pop of crowd noise than at Neyland Stadium when DJ threw a pick six in 2005. And they just went straight back out there and started throwing it again. And that you got to do it. You have to trust yourself and believe in yourself and believe in your teaching. And if you do, you'll make it. But Georgia's quarterbacks, again, from Kirby, I really feel confident about our quarterback room. Confident because we have Stetson returning, but confident because we have some well-coached because we have well-coached backups as well. Easy enough for me to say.